Welcome, everybody. This is another episode of What's Working in E-commerce. Today, I'm excited to have on Jeff Caplan, who's one of our clients from a long time ago here. He owns CraftOptics. Tell us a little bit about you, your company, and this product.
CraftOptics, what we do is we make magnification and light for artists, for anybody doing creative work, creative detail work. And what they are, it's a set of glasses like this. I'm wearing them actually, with a light attached, magnifiers attached. So if you've seen them, things like this before, probably at your dentist or surgeons wearing glasses like this, that's our background. That's where we came from. So we started this company in 2009. Really, it came from the dental world where we had a company here, based here in Madison. It still exists, called Oroscoptic. That was started by my dad, who was a dentist. He designed this for himself, thought maybe other dentists might like it, and one thing led to another. It turned into a company out of his dental office downtown. Patients of our dentist customers would call and say, "Hey, I'm a quilter, and I saw my dentist wearing these really cool glasses. I want some for quilting." We always thought, there's a market for this. We've been working on some prototypes. In 2008, we came up with one we thought was great. And so we started producing them. We sell to anyone doing detail work. So it can range from quilting, cross stitch, needlepoint, beadworking, jewelry making, paint restoration. We have a guy here at the museum who does a lot of restoration work, illustrations. The woman who did the original James and the Giant Peach, she's one of our really early customers. So it's just a broad range of people, anyone doing detail work. But once you start wearing reading lenses, you realize that doing the same kind of detail work is a challenge. That's where we come in. So it's not that you have to be old to wear these, because we sell to young and old, people of all ages, but people who've done, cross stitch for 40 years and have had to stop because it's just no longer fun. We can help them continue doing what they love to do. So that's what CraftOptics is. We help people not only do better detail work just to begin with, but to continue doing the kind of creative work that they love.
Sounds like you really listened to the market, discovered that need, and developed a specialty product all around it.
Yeah, we listened to the market. It was in the back of our minds, and we just kind of we didn't know for sure. We had a pretty strong idea. What really confirmed our belief in the product was when we did start to go to trade shows of the jewelry world and the quilting world and sewing world. In the dental world, I was used to people walking by and saying, "Yeah, I'll get those when I'm old," or until they try them. And when they try them, they're like, "Oh, whoa, I can see this is really amazing." And so we got years of face-to-face market research where there's nothing better than to hear the exact reactions of someone who's right in front of you trying your product. We gained more confidence in what we were doing. Here we are, 12 years later, still doing it. In kind of the heyday of these exhibitions were 11 to 2017, 18, something like that. It was 2016 where I thought, we were doing, I think, 31 shows a year, which is a lot of shows. And I was not doing all of them myself, but it was a lot of work. And they were well attended and people were spending a lot of money. And then like 2018, 2019, things sort of started to shift a little bit. And then I saw just kind of tailing off. We better keep an eye on other avenues. And so that's when we started to shift. That's when I started looking for you guys, and that's when that started to shift.
I'm very curious of what did you learn with those in-person meetings? It sounds like by seeing people try it on and experience it, that was a big aha for them. Yeah, How did you translate that into online with your online store and with your social media marketing and other forms of digital marketing? How do you capture that experience if people can't try it on digitally?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it is hard. In fact, we're doing, virtual trade shows right now, and I have to explain it, which is not always easy to do. And even if you show someone photos, kind of have to go on face. So there are a couple of things that you have to do. One is be confident enough in the product that you offer a full refund if they don't like it. We give people 45 days, and if you buy a set of CraftOptics, and we put your prescription actually in the glasses, they're titanium frames. We put your prescription in here. If you return them, we still give you your full refund. So we'll eat the cost of that. So we're pretty confident that once people get them, they're going to like them. That was a big hurdle to overcome. There are a couple of hurdles that we had. The fact that they have prescriptions involved, that you put your prescription in here, that was a real speed bump. And what we would see in person, if you would say, they get all excited. This is a really great idea. Let me try these, and we'll explain that, hey, you put your prescription in here, and they visibly go, there's a real stress about prescriptions and a real stress about, I don't know my prescription. I don't know I don't know who to call, what to do. And so from that experience, I mean, like physically seeing people make faces at us when we said that, we'll call their optometrist for them. Our optician calls for the prescriptions. We take that completely out of their hands. And then online, that option when you're checking out is, hey, call my optometrist for my prescription, and that's all they have to do. It doesn't sound like maybe not sound like a big deal, but it's a big deal as far as that.
Yeah, no, I could believe it. I'm glad you brought those up. I want to highlight those two things. Of one is you really figured out this is a higher dollar value, average order value. We need to have risk reversals so that people are concerned, and that's what's going to put them over the edge. Like, what am I going to do if it doesn't work? And you take it out of their hand and you say, don't worry, we'll pay for that. That really gets them over the hump, and I bet you make a lot of sales that way. So I'm glad you figured that out.
It does get people over the hump.
And then that other piece of it's a multi-step thing. There's some customization involved, and just the stress of like, I don't get to just buy it and forget about it and wait for it to arrive. It's like, we've got to customize it to my prescription. There was resistance there, and so you took away the friction. And it sounds like that has helped you make a lot of sales too.
One of the things we decided early on was that we're going to have humans answering the phone. We're going to have humans responding promptly to inquiries. We're going to have live chats. We're going to do all these things, the human touch. I want to automate everything I can automate that doesn't require me personally or our optician, Lynn, or others. But when they need it, we're there. So that's how we've always been. I was mentioning before, it shows it's people kind of going by, and they see us like, oh, that's kind of interesting. We're teaching them what the product is. We're creating this market, and that was what I was focused on for the first, 6-7 years of what we were doing. But there's a whole world out there that already knows they need this product. They're looking for it. And I ignored SEO until I met you guys. I ignored it almost completely. It takes a while for all these things to kick in to figure out what those search terms are and how people are finding us. Now I looked on the numbers today. It's like, it's a quarter of our sale, or more of a quarter of our sales are just from searching. When I do random checks, sometimes when we get orders coming in, I'll say, well, where did they come from? And it's someone who was, they visited our site, they saw us, and they ordered. And it's a good investment. So they clearly were looking for it, and it was exactly what they were looking for. So that really got me excited about the possibilities.
There's this piece of we need to generate demand. That's kind of maybe on the paid social side, which we'll talk about. But on the paid search and organic SEO side, there are people searching for this. There's existing demand that we want to capture. And we may need to stop a minute and say, how are they searching for it? And I think, the way you describe your product as a person who's made it, and you've been working on this for over a decade, you talk about it differently than someone who's imagined it, but has never heard of it, right? And so we had to kind of figure out what are those keywords, right? For those watching, you can check out CraftOptics.com to see Jeff's site here. Throughout the site, you can really see, we can see the product well, and we can see very clearly of what's it for, magnifying eyeglasses and light. That was a bit of our SEO we were working on this is what people are searching, let's put it in there. But the thing I want to comment on is just all the people that populate your site. If I do one of these activities, if I'm a quilter or a beater or whatever it is, I see myself here in the same people that are in your marketing.
When you're out selling something and you're like what we have, people see it and they're like, oh, I don't know if I want to wear that. I'll look weird or whatever it is. This person here on the left is like, really well-known quilter, really well-known jeweler, award-winning quilter, jewelry artist, even Santa wears them. So I mean, it is a social proof that gets people comfortable that, hey, that's me. I do exactly that thing. I wanted everyone to see themselves doing this work, and they do.
I want to jump to the package real quick.
Sure.
So it's not just the glasses. You've got this Dream Beam light as well that people can add on, and then they can actually light up what they're seeing. This is a way to increase average order value as well. Obviously, they could buy the basic CraftOptics and get the light later, but if possible, we want to get with the WOW package where they're getting higher average order value and they're getting this right out of the gate.
I'd say it's probably 90% of our orders are this package. For the most part, this is what we sell.
And I see you've got a lot of great details on this page. You've even got some financing through PayPal if needed. I'm always looking for what's the call to action, what's the button? And what's very interesting to me here is start your order. It's not the main call to action. We're really driving them to this product selector. Can I ask you about this?
What this tool does is a selector tool that will walk people through their experience and help them decide what it is they think they need. When we were talking about speed bumps to the purchase, the prescription is one, and then the other is I don't know what to pick. You don't want to give people too many choices because then they don't make any choice. The truth is there are probably like 3 configurations that people use more than any other. I mean, probably 80% of our sales are those 3. We don't want to return, so we want them to understand what they're getting. Go through that product selector tool, it's asking them every question we would have asked them had we been at a trade show in person. If you click on the quilting, sewing, embroidery, this is what they do. And we ask them, hey, what kind of quilting or what specifically are you doing? And every time they answer that question, we have an idea of how they're sitting, what they want to see. All these questions are what we would ask in person as we're taking an order. So they go through that whole thing, and at the end, it gives them a recommendation. And our CRM then will send an email out to them saying, hey, this is what you selected. And so the follow-up email that they get says, hey, for your quilting that your machine quilting that you're doing, here's the configuration we recommended, and here's some other machine quilters, here's some reviews from them.
I just want to highlight what you said, because this is brilliant. So you had a one-to-one sales approach you learned in person, and you've now taken this one-to-many online by walking people basically through a funnel of sales questions this is automated. You don't have to be there in person to do this. People can do this on their devices. What's the result been like since you implemented this kind of customization wizard? How do you measure it, and how do you think about it?
Well, I look at the number of people that go through it. I think it's about 100 a month is what it's roughly been. Someone who's gone through that, to me, that's almost as good as a face-to-face trade show demonstration, because it's someone who's really kind of committed to learning more and going through that process.
This has been so great just talking about this. I really like how you've reproduced the trade show there on your website. It's been highly effective, and it sounds like even after someone goes through that wizard, basically, as you call it, they continue to get customized messages in their email box. Is that right?
Yeah, there are some other things that are helpful from that too, information we get, which is it mostly quilters going through this thing, or is it mostly jewelers? Who's the group using this the most? What color frames are they picking?
It seems so simple that I want to praise it, because I've seen other e-commerce businesses that could really benefit from this. One, you're doing the cardinal rule of marketing, which is you're only asking one question at a time. Yeah. You're not giving them this big long form with 11 questions that's going to take them forever to go through. You've got nice images right in there. It's in normal language, just like you would do in one-to-one sales, right? You're getting even more information about your prospects and your customers of what are they using my products for, what are their challenges, and then you're segmenting them and communicating to them in a way that makes the most sense to them and speaking to their pain points specifically and how your product can solve them.
And you mentioned segmenting, which is one of the things that we did early on. You're always taught in business school and all this stuff, you segment and target your market and all these things. And yes, that's true if you have that kind of product. But as I learned working with you guys, people were coming from all these different areas with SEO. Like, I didn't know who was visiting our site. And once we got an idea and we did remarketing and we did some of those, targeting the top groups coming to our site with Facebook ads and other ads, we're getting people from all these different worlds that, when I was doing a targeted ad for quilting or for sewing or whatever it was, I was missing all these people. For us, the broader we got, the more people we got in. And then once they're in, then we learn what they do, and then we can funnel them to the right, interest group. So we have them tagged by interest, and then we can send them an email specific to what they're interested in.
It sounds like you have multiple customer personas and you speak to them based on which one they are. You've had more than a decade of learning that you've condensed into this process, and I think it's very effective for you. So that's awesome to see. Thank you for sharing this.
Sure, yeah. I love this stuff.
Let's have you back sometime to show us your Infusionsoft flows, but let's call it for today. Who is this product a good fit for, and how can people find you online, Jeff?
Well, CraftOptics.com is how you can find us. And we have a Facebook page, CraftOptics. We have an Instagram page. We have a YouTube channel, CraftOptics YouTube channel. It's for any artist, anyone, any creative person who does detail work, who needs to magnify and light their work. But anyone who spends a lot of time doing detail work and it's an important part of their lives, that's what we help. And so that's what we're for.
Thanks so much for coming on today, Jeff. Really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Take care.